If you're frustrated with reality TV, we do have good news for you. Many of the most popular reality television shows are experiencing a dip in their ratings. Most notably, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, and Duck Dynasty are the top three that have experienced a dip in their ratings. And I want to give you some specific examples. So let's take a look at Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which of course broadcasts on E! In their premiere, which was October of 2007, they had almost 900,000 viewers, 898,000. At the peak, which was February of 2010, they had 4.8 million viewers. Now it's only 2.1 million.
So look, 2.1 million in cable is still a solid number. That's why you still see Kardashians all over your TV. And it's gone up from when it began. So it's successful. It's a very long-running show, too. But when you lose more than half your audience from your peak, that's obviously not good news. And you're beginning to see reality TV lose its popularity. There's a couple of different reasons for that we'll discuss in a second. But let's give more examples and then we'll theorize.
So Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, which airs on TLC, premiered with 2.3 million viewers in August of 2012. In the peak of their broadcast, it was 3.2 million. Recently, it dropped to 1.7 million viewers.
So almost down 100% from its peak. And even down from its premiere.
Yes.
And then Duck Dynasty started at 1.8 million, and it took off like a rocket. There's no question about that. It was at 11.8 million viewers, which is spectacular for cable television. So fair is fair. These shows did do great for a while.
Yeah.
And now they're down to 3.4 million, which is still a solid number, but it's about a third of where they used to be.
It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that this is all around great news. And it's great news because these shows had some influence. I felt like people were focusing way too much on this reality content as a reality content. It's not reality at all. Obviously, you guys know it's scripted. But I felt like it was kind of leading to like society devolving in some ways. But here's the bad news. It's not that reality shows in general are doing poorly. People still really love reality shows. A lot of them still have decent ratings. It's just that these particular shows are starting to lose their luster. People are less likely to watch them because they're kind of burnt out.
So I have a couple of different theories. First of all, apparently America overall does not agree with me, but I think reality shows are abysmal. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. There's an odd one here or there that I like. So I'm not fundamentally opposed to the concept, okay? And me and my wife watched Jersey Shore for a couple of seasons, right? And we thought it was fun little guilty pleasure, right? But now I'm watching, now I've been exercising on a treadmill, which I never did, but I've been doing it this year. So I'm catching more random TV as I'm on the treadmill. And what are you guys watching? It's crazy. It's crazy how boring it is. So, okay, the Duggar family, now there's 19 of them. Oh, they just had dinner. And I'm like, that was it? They had dinner? Who gives a shit, right? And then their boyfriends came over. I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, what? Is anything exciting ever going to happen, right? And they're like, oh, now let's surprise our parents by doing a movie night at the Duggars. First of all, you're not surprising them. There's 100 TV cameras in your house. They know it's coming, okay? So the whole thing smacks of such bullshit that I can't believe that anybody can stomach it, right? Everything with the Kardashians is like, oh my God, look at what Kim found out. No, look at what Kim was written, was explained as in her script days ago, weeks ago, right? And then the parents come, they're like, oh, it's a movie, thank you guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with
I don't get it.
It's the same thing with Bravo and their Real Housewives franchise. And what they do is they'll have one of the housewives plan an event. They all go to the event. A fight ensues, and then they argue about what happened off the camera or off when they're on their own doing their testimonials or whatever. And then the next episode, the exact same thing happens, but they just have a different housewife plan a different event.
But please, why are you watching it? Well, you know it's fake. Why are you watching it? You know they planned the whole goddamn thing. So by the way, that is exactly why their numbers dip, okay, after a certain period of time. Why? Because they have to get more and more contrived. Because they're like, oh, okay, it turns out these people are just regular, boring people. So what do we have to do? We have to create some sort of false drama. And every year it gets more and more ridiculous. That's why we stopped watching Jersey Shore. Because it was like, come on, dude, it's so obvious you wrote this whole goddamn thing. And all the drama between them where they're upset at each other. They're not upset at each other. When the Jersey Shore first started, yeah, it's a reality show and stuff, but they were real people for a little while. The situation was actually the situation before TV cameras found him, right?
Yeah.
But by the third season, he wasn't a real person. He was just an actor. He was an actor with lines that they had fed him.
Yep.
So that's why you lose interest, because even the most the person who loves reality shows most, by the end is like, come on.
You get exhausted from watching it. It's just boring. It's not as entertaining.
And the final thing here is that TV's audience is splintering. And so in the past, it's amazing numbers, right? In the old days, Cosby Show, Seinfeld, ER would get 20, 25, 30 million people per episode.
Jeez.
Now, Modern Family, #1 show, oftentimes will get just 6 million an episode. Okay? So
It's such a great show.
and it is.
Yeah.
But you see, that's the thing. It's not that the shows are worse. In fact, I think television now is as good as it's ever been.
Yeah.
Not the reality stuff, but the HBO stuff, FX.
So many good shows to watch. Like, I'm thinking about all the different shows that I'm trying to catch up on, but I just don't have time. Like, the thought of wasting my time on a reality show when I could finally finish the 2nd season of Orange is the New Black, or finish Silicon Valley on HBO. I haven't even finished that yet.
Oh, that's a crime.
So, I know it is. There's so much great content out there, and it's not lying to you. They're telling you, hey, it's a sitcom, or hey, we're a show, it's scripted, we have great writers, we have great actors and actresses. Instead, people are consuming reality TV, which isn't reality TV to begin with, and it drives me nuts because these assholes are getting rich off of it.
That's
You know
the
what
other
I
thing
mean?
that gets under your skin.
Yeah.
Like Situation, I think we did a story on it a couple of years ago where he was getting like $50,000 a pop for an appearance. They're like, oh wow, here's Snooki, here's $50,000 for showing up. Jeez, Lord mercy, what's wrong with all of us, right? So, but the thing is, as great as some of the shows on television are now, there's so many of them that the audience is splintered.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to get all of them back in one place, and TV has trouble adjusting to that.
Yeah.
And so they're in a bit of a panic trying to figure out how that works. Just to be clear, I'm not against all reality shows. It's just the whole thing has gotten super tired. Yeah. I say that because you never know. Maybe one day we'll do a reality show. I can't believe Anna came in late today. You know, I'm so tired of her attitude. Okay.